Francesco Abbruzzino with the Scoop News. Okay, this next one is something that I may or may not be doing an interview with. I was contacted by Marie Ruhl, who's from Venice, and now she has a practice up in Bradenton. And she's running against this guy, Eaton, and it's for the Circuit Court Judge of the 12th District, 12th Judicial Circuit Judge. And it'll be for 6 years. So I think she's running. I think she's looking for some support out there, and I believe she reached out to me about, I don't know, a month ago, and I saw this article, which I'll put a link to it on the Herald, and you can look at it. And I thought, you know what, I'll interview her because it was interesting in the read, and the way it's set up, I almost wonder if this guy Eaton Brian Eaton, however you pronounce his name, has an advantage. And when I was reading over Maria's bios and stuff about her, I thought she was a more solid candidate. And I thought, you know what, I wouldn't mind really interviewing her, getting to know her, because that's one of the toughest ones. When you go into that ballot box, it happens to me all the time, you look at the names, and a lot of times on these judges, you don't know who they are, and you're not sure who to vote for. They're nonpartisan. They don't have an R or D next to their name, which a lot of people look for the R's or the D's and they'll check, because they're not supposed to be partisan when they're in there defending and fighting for the law, right? So, just in case we don't hook up an interview, although the elections, it's not until August 28th, we got some time, but basically, this is for the 12th District, and 12th Judicial, and if you get in trouble, you're basically going to go probably before some of these guys. Now, Brian is 52. He's a circuit court judge, mass communications degree. He's got his university, that's from University of Florida, South Florida, USF, go Bulls, my daughter's there, and a law degree from Florida State. He basically has, according to what I'm reading out there, he supervised 3 other prosecutors that were assigned to violent crimes and very complex cases, so he understands that. He's served over search warrants and ensuring that they were up to speed whenever officers wanted to go in and act upon a warrant. He's got more than 2 years on the bench of experience, and he sat over 32 jury trials, 15 bench trials, plus numerous evidentiary and other hearings. He's also served as an administrative judge. So he's got a lot of experience in that role. I'm not sure if in that role he was appointed, which, based upon some of the readings, I'm thinking he was. He made headlines, as you may or may not recall, back in 2017 when they reassigned from civil cases to felonies 17 months after his appointment. And basically, that was a ding against him. Typically, within a 2-year waiting period, is imposed before a prosecutor, a former prosecutor who becomes judge, can hear criminal cases. So basically, they had to reassign the cases so that they could be heard. And it compelled Eaton to recuse himself from a ton of cases, I think a dozen or so. And he did that because of his previous affiliation with the state attorney's office. So he that's perceived by some as a negative, and he's getting some pushback from that. He couldn't discuss the specifics of that, which how lucky for him. Now, a lot of things you got to look at are the donors. Basically, he's brought in just over 41,000, 18,000 of his own money. Some of his donors include Moreland, some retired judges, Palmer Branch developer Hugh Culverhouse Jr., and his real estate interest, the Boone Law Firm in Venice. That right there should get you terrified. Terrified if Boone Law is throwing money this guy's way. I just saw that. Holy shiza. I don't like that, man. Boone is nasty. Hear me, Jeff? I know you watch this. I know you see this stuff. Ruhl. She interned as a law clerk for the federal judge, and before earning her law degree and joining the Florida bar back in 2005. Like I said, she's from here in lovely Venice, but she practices out of Bradenton. She does come all over the 12th Judicial area, down to Venice Courthouse, Bradenton, Sarasota, all that stuff to participate in proceedings. One thing I liked about her is she provides free legal service to abused women and children who are preferred or referred to her, with assisting them with injunctions and restraining orders and all that good stuff. She said the most common question she hears from voters or concerns is political affiliation. Like I said, it's a nonpartisan position, and you shouldn't be partisan when in that role. So she doesn't really say if she's Republican, Democrat, as I'm sure Brian doesn't either. She decided to become a candidate because she got tired of too many judges being appointed, which we all are. They should be nominated, not appointed. We, the people, should decide. She is a defense attorney. Her money has come from, she's raised just a little bit less than Brian. She's raised just over $40,000. Of that, just under $18,000 came from her husband. She did get some money from Hugh Culverhouse and a prosecutor up in Pinellas County, numerous local attorneys. So she's a local favorite of the local attorneys, and I didn't see that with Brian, and some other law groups. And I do not see the likes of developers such as Jeff Boone. So that's a huge plus for me. Now, like I said, she reached out to me, and I didn't even contact. I wrote her back and said, hey, if I got anything, I'll let you know. So I wrote her today after reading that article, and I said, if you want to come on, we'll talk, get people to know you. Because after reading that article, I feel more, especially now that I know about Boone, I feel she will be getting a check mark by me. So she's got one vote. Actually, four votes. Actually, three. My youngest daughter just turned 18. She never registered. Scheiße. All right, everybody. This has been Francesco Abbruzzino with The Scoop News.